how many new plants and factories have been built in Russia in the first half of 2025. What achievements in science and technology has this period been remembered for? Traditionally, the last issue of June is dedicated to a review of the most notable positive events in Russia's life over the past 6 months. Since March, Russia has made significant progress in the import substitution of civil aviation. Superjet 100 aircraft with domestic systems and the latest PED-8 engines have begun certification flights. Starting with low-altitude flight tests, by July the test pilots moved on to long-distance flights from Komsomolsk-on-Amur to Moscow, repeatedly confirming the operability of all components. At the same time, flights of the MS-21 in its import-substituted version began with Russian PD-14 engines, which are already being produced in series. Also in the spring, the fully Russian third prototype of the Il-1 aircraft took to the air for the first time, the Il-40-1300 with television, 117 ST-01 engines. Design work has begun on re-engineering the B-2000 CHS amphibious aircraft with Russian PD-8 engines, the same ones currently used on the Superjet. The newest 5 Mark 655 engine has received its certification. It is intended for K-2-26T helicopters and unmanned aerial vehicles. For the first time in the world, tests of the newest control systems for the future supersonic civil aircraft have been conducted. Russian engineers are already working on this project. Scientists from Rosatom have managed to produce carbon fiber with a strength of 7 gigapascals for the first time. First of all, only 3 companies in the world possess such technologies, 2 Japanese and 1 American. This is an undeniable achievement that will make it possible, among other things, to reduce the weight of future airplanes, helicopters, and rockets. Work continued on the most ambitious project of our time, the first high-speed railway. As part of this project, a prototype of the train's power unit was created and began testing, and tests also started on a prototype frame of the non-motorized bogie. At Sevmesh, the 4th serial submarine perm of the Yasen-M project was launched. It differs from its predecessors in that it is equipped with a standard capability to carry Zircon hypersonic missiles. At the Baltic shipyard, they have started cutting metal for the new nuclear icebreaker Stalingrad. At the Zeopodolsk plant, they have completed the production of the world's most powerful civilian ship reactor unit, RITM 400E. Its thermal power is 315 megawatts. To put it into perspective, that's enough to supply electricity to a city with a population of 150,000 people. 2 such reactors will be installed on the icebreaker Russia, which is currently under construction as part of Project 10,510 liter. The heart of another giant started beating again after a long break. A physical launch of the nuclear reactor took place on the heavy nuclear-powered missile cruiser Admiral Nakhimov as part of a large-scale modernization. And at the Yantar shipyard, a large landing ship of the improved Project 11,711 was launched. Vladimir Andreev. The Russian automotive industry also worked hard. Among the main news, let's highlight the launch of mass production of the Lada Iskra, the new all-wheel drive automobile plant, 65-954 tractor unit, the SATKO-9 truck, the all-wheel drive SOLERSST-6 and ST-8 pickups, the SOLERSSF-1 vans, and the light commercial vehicles SF-5, a pre-production prototype of the ATOM electric car, and the newest LADA AZIMUD crossover were also presented. The Chemical Automatics Design Bureau has completed the production of a flight model engine for the second stage of the newest Soyuz 5 rocket, which is expected to launch in December. The RD-012-4MS engine, with a thrust of 60 tons, has a record-specific impulse among all oxygen-kerosene engines in the world. Final tests of the landing module model for the Luna 27 automatic station have been completed at Lavochkin Research and Production Association. Specialists have practiced soft landing modes in conditions as close to real as possible. In total, we intend to launch 6 automatic spacecraft for remote and contact studies of the moon. Now let's take a look at achievements in the field of infrastructure and production. In the Volga region, the EP600 mega complex was launched, one of the most modern oil and gas chemical production facilities, not only in our country, but in the entire world. It will make it possible to reduce the export of crude oil abroad and to produce a whole range of in-demand materials for Russian industry. In Udmurtia, infrastructure is being built for a new industrial complex whose first enterprise will be a full-cycle permanent rare earth magnet plant. Such magnets are in demand in a wide variety of industries, from space technology and mining equipment to medical devices, automotive components, and wind energy. In Yakutia, work is in full swing on the construction of the unique Lensky Bridge, one of the most complex engineering projects in Russia. The bridge will become a key element of the new transportation system, connecting federal and regional highways, the Amur-Yakutsk Railway, the river port, and the airport. It will also be part of the international transport corridor, linking the Baikal-Amur main line and the Trans-Siberian Railway with the Northern Sea Route. Intensive work continues on the Baikal-Amur main line and the Trans-Siberian Railway to increase their capacity. Second tracks are being built on key sections, along with railway bridges, stations, and passing loops. The railway infrastructure is intended to reduce the load on highways, while at the same time, active implementation of autonomous driving continues on the roads. In spring, autonomous freight vehicles started operating on the Central Ring Road. Soon, the M12 Vostok Highway will join the experiment, and on the M11 Neva, freight drones have already become a common sight. In Dubna, at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, the first session at the Nika Accelerator Complex has started. This is one of Russia's most important scientific mega-projects, and its launch will give our scientists access to cutting-edge research. Construction of the reactor building for Unit 4 has started at the Leningrad Nuclear Power Plant 2 site. Preparations have begun for the construction of replacement capacities at the Smolensk and Kola nuclear power plants. Engineering surveys for a new generation power unit at the Beloyarsk nuclear power plant are being completed. In the first half of the year alone, about 150 major production facilities, factories, plants, and important industrial lines have been launched in the country. As usual, we will list all of them as well as other achievements after a brief announcement. Why are so many people convinced that Iran is seeking to acquire nuclear weapons? This is an example of the illusory truth effect. A lie repeatedly told by Western media starts to be perceived by the masses as a fact. Meanwhile, Iran has claimed and continues to claim that it needs a full-cycle nuclear energy program, not a bomb. In fact, being a so-called threshold state is more beneficial for it than having nuclear weapons. Just as it is beneficial for Israel to portray Iran as an enemy in order to continue receiving support from the United States and to justify its tough policies. This is the status quo in the region, which was in no way disrupted by the recent 12-day war. But what's really interesting is how, in light of what's happening, nuclear energy will develop around the world. A batch of Depesha ground drones has been delivered to the troops. A barge of the RDB 6668M project has been laid down in the Tomsk region. An automated production line for acoustic systems has been launched in Moscow, in Omsk, production of high-strength fasteners in Vologda, large-diameter polyethylene pipes in Sevastopol, production of metallic nanopowders has been mastered in Tatarstan, a vegetable oil production facility has opened, and in Perm Krai, a dairy farm. The world's only floating nuclear thermal power plant, which is currently operating in Chukotka, has generated its first billion kilowatt hours. The main stage of modernization of production facilities has been completed at the Barnaul Transmash plant. Also, the heavy wheel disc plant in Barnaul has been modernized. New production lines have been launched at the Onezhsky Shipbuilding and Ship Repair Plant. A plant for the production of semi-trailers has been opened in the Ulyanovsk region. A drone manufacturing facility in the Ivanovo region, a woodworking plant in Kurgan, a machining shop for components for electric trains and diesel locomotives in Ryazan, and a large feed mill. A new poultry house has been put into operation and cheese production has started in Bashkiria. In the Volgograd region, the largest dairy complex in the country has begun operating. Russian helicopters delivered 14 more new Mi-8 MTV-1 helicopters to Russian companies. The modernization of all 4 power units at the Rostov nuclear power plant is now complete. Gold mining has begun at a deposit in the Magadan region. Roselektronika has mastered production of crucial components for UAVs, including navigation modules and controllers. The Kalashnikov concern has developed a new RPL-7 light machine gun with belt feeding. In Udmurtia, the production of components for oil pumps has been launched in the Moscow region, the production of metal structures near Voronezh, a dry construction mix plant, and in the Stavropol region, a flour mill. In Karelia, there is one of the largest fish feed production plants in the country. In Kaliningrad, the large freezer fishing trawler Viktor Gavrilov was launched. In the Tomsk region, a barge of Project RDB 6668M was laid down. Kama Automobile Plant has launched the production of a new tractor, 69955 for heavy-duty operation. In Ulyanovsk, Solars has started manufacturing pickups. Tolyatti has begun producing Russia's first lithium-ion batteries for UAVs. Moscow has started producing components for auxiliary units of nuclear power plant machine rooms. At the Salyut production complex, a line for manufacturing aircraft engine components has been built. New equipment has been introduced at the Kirov Mayak plant of the Kalashnikov concern. A fiberglass production workshop has been opened in the Vladimir region. The Soyuz 2.1V launch vehicle with spacecraft of the Ministry of Defense has successfully launched from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome. A batch of BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles has been delivered to the troops. The Kalashnikov concern has developed the newest short-range surface-to-air missile system for territorial air defense, Krona-E. Another TVS-2MS aircraft has completed a test flight. A tugboat of Project RDB 5006 has been laid down in the Tomsk region. In the Khabarovsk region, traffic has started on the second track at the Stalanik-Alonka section of the Baikal-Amur main line. A breeding and seed production complex worth 2 billion rubles has been launched in Yelets. Explosion-proof elevators are being produced in the Moscow region. Russian schoolchildren won 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals at the International Geography Olympiad in Indonesia. Russian helicopters delivered 10 new Mi-8 MTV-1 helicopters to Uter Airline. At the Admiralty shipyards in St. Petersburg, 2 more large freezer fishing trawlers of Project ST-192 were laid down. At the Krasnaya Sormova plant, another dry cargo ship of Project River Sea Dry Cargo 59 was laid down. A PKS 42-passenger electric vessel was laid down at the Chkalovsk shipyard. At the Chapetsk mechanical plant, a section for the production of components for the active zone of the innovative Brest OD-300 reactor was launched. A pharmaceutical production facility was opened in Moscow, a cosmetics production facility in the Moscow region, a feed mill in the Novosibirsk region, a large food production facility in Stavropol, and a greenhouse complex in Kamchatka. Sudoverf Parjashchi Machini built a new passenger hovercraft named Vasily Ilyin, Project RM-44. Construction of dry cargo ships of Project River Sea Dry Cargo 81 has started in Astrakhan. Russia's largest unmanned systems flight test center has opened in Moscow. In Tomsk, a scientific and production center for unmanned aerial systems and a microelectronics component manufacturing facility have been established. The Kaliningrad region has an aluminum body production plant. Korolyov has a switchgear equipment production facility. The Astrakhan region has a solar power plant, and the Vologda region has a pig farming complex. Russian school students won 2 gold and 2 silver medals at the International Mathematical Olympiad in Bucharest. The Soyuz 2.1, a launch vehicle with the Progress MS-30 cargo spacecraft, successfully launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. High-precision systems holding delivered TM 140 high-mobility snow and swamp vehicles to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations. A batch of serial PD-14 engines has been delivered for installation on the import-substituted MC-21 aircraft. The upgraded engine for the Meteor 120R hydrofoil vessel has passed bench testing. The St. Petersburg tractor plant has started producing a pilot industrial batch of electronically controlled engines. A new airport terminal opened in Novokuznetsk. Kolding has started mass production of 5-axis computer numerical control machines for the aviation industry. Serial production of agricultural machinery components has been launched in Saransk, component production for UAVs in Novosibirsk and in Krasnogorsk, the first cryogranulated starter culture production in Russia. The Soyuz 2.1B launch vehicle successfully launched from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed a Ministry of Defense satellite into orbit. Avtozavod Ural is starting production of the new Ural 80 truck. Moscow Institute of Physics and Technology has launched a nanosatellite testing center. Samara University, named after Korolyov, opened a Center for Additive Technologies of General Access. The Research Institute of Electronic Technology started producing microchips in metal polymer cases. Scientists at Tomsk State University have developed and scaled up a technology for producing powdered silica gel for toothpaste production. In St. Petersburg, the first robotic system in Russia for sorting cargo with a capacity of up to 4,000 parcels per hour has been launched. A new feed processing workshop has been opened in the Tumen region. A self-propelled barge of the SP-20 project has been laid down in Vladivostok, and a new production building for manufacturing components of advanced power units has been opened in Samara. In Rostov-on-Don, a plant for microelectronics components, and in the Moscow region, a surface mount line and production of industrial safety valves. In the Khabarovsk region, production of copper concentrate has started. A plant for fastener components has been opened in Omsk. There is a robotic dairy farm in the Irkutsk region and cheese production in the Nizhny Novgorod region. The Angara 1.2 launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed military satellites into orbit. Another batch of Panzer S air defense systems has been delivered to the troops. A new dredger of Project 93,159 has been laid down at the Astrakhan shipyard. And at the Gorky automobile plant, production of Valdez 18 trucks has begun, and in Yaroslavl, production of the new Yaroslavets Ya-250 tractor has started. Agricultural Construction DST Ural has presented the new FT-7 tractor with a Russian engine. The Rose Electronica Holding has started production of Fish-T industrial mini-computers. In the Tula region, production of polymer films has been launched. In Tambov, production of additives for dry building mixes. In the Rostov region, a large non-alcoholic beverage plant. In the Samara region, the laying of 3 serial dry cargo ships of the River Sea Dry Cargo 34th project took place. A new port, Lavna, has started operating in Murmansk with an investment of 87 billion rubles. One of the largest hardening complexes in the country has started operating at the Chelyabinsk Forge and Press plant. Serial production of parts for low-emission combustion chambers of industrial engines has been established in Samara. The Gorky automobile plant has expanded production of the modernized 5-speed gearbox for the Gazelle Next. Laptop production has been launched in Kaliningrad, and in the Tver region, a new robotic server assembly workshop and production of plastic components have been established. In Kuzbas, there is an import substituting production of vacuum pumps. The Nizhny Novgorod region launched a 3rd line for geotextiles production. Perm started producing fiber optic cables. In the Tomsk region, the first local production of quartz flour has been launched. In Yekaterinburg, paving slab production has started with investments exceeding 1.7 billion rubles. A deep oilseed processing plant operates in Tula. An Omsk region pig breeding complex was established. A Bashkiria dairy farm launched. Russian students took first place in all categories of the International Mobile Robot Competition. A batch of Su-35S fighter jets has been delivered to the troops. 2 cargo ships of the River Sea Dry Cargo 81 project have been laid down in Astrakhan. At the Sullers plant, mass production of 3 models of manual transmissions has started. Production has started in various regions of Russia. Brushless electric motors in Kaluga, flexible polymer reinforced pipes in Irkutsk, extra-large curved insulated glass units in Chelyabinsk, a full-cycle hygiene products manufacturing facility in the Moscow region, a new grain elevator in the Ulyanovsk region, and the first phase of a meat processing plant in Ryazan. Russian students won the Grand Prix at the International Olympiad in Theoretical Mechanics in Turkmenistan. The Soyuz 2.1, a launch vehicle with a transport crewed spacecraft, successfully launched from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. A crab fishing vessel of the KSP-01 project was launched at the Krasnoye Sormovo plant. At the Stakhanov ferroalloy plant in the Luhansk People's Republic, the 4th electric furnace was launched after 11 years of downtime. Gearbox production for industrial robots has started in Chelyabinsk. Production of the first Russian payment terminal has started at the Infrared plant. A high-tech foundry has opened in Ivanovo. The Volcan plant has expanded the production of rubber products. An oil plant has opened in the Orenburg region, and a poultry complex has opened in the Vologda region. Russian schoolchildren won 6 medals at the World Chess Championship in Serbia. Another batch of BMP-3S with additional protection has been delivered to the troops. A multifunctional tug rescue vessel was launched at the Okskaya shipyard. The Bejas Agro plant has launched mass production of the new agricultural machine, Tumen 4. In the Amur region, a unique autoclave facility for processing double refractory gold-bearing ores has been launched with no analogs in the world. A new pilot industrial site for extracting rare earth metals from processed electronic scrap has been launched in the Samara region. In Dagestan, a unique glass melting workshop has launched. In Kamchatka, a building materials facility opened. The Kaliningrad region saw a large dairy plant begin operations. And in the Yaroslavl region, Russia's first industrial-scale orchid production started. Another batch of Su-34 fighter bombers has been delivered to the troops. At the Shrednanevsky shipbuilding plant, the minesweeper Polyarny of Project 12,700 was launched, and in the Nizhny Novgorod region, another Valday 45R hydrofoil vessel was launched. In Kamchatka, 2 small fishing seiners of Project 04-130 have been launched. In St. Petersburg, a full-cycle metal cutting tool production facility has been opened. In the Kaluga region, a plant for the production of particle boards worth 22 billion rubles has been opened. New facilities have been opened: a decorative materials production facility in the Leningrad region, a polypropylene threads and fabrics production facility in the Kaliningrad region, a dairy farm in the Nizhny Novgorod region, and a large livestock complex in the Saratov region. In St. Petersburg, a Project 10,410 border guard ship was launched. 2 Project 03050 border guard ships were launched in the Yaroslavl region. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a Meteor 120R hydrofoil vessel of Project 03580 has been launched. In Yakutia, the Zhatai shipyard has started operating. In the Samara region, production of auto components for the Lada Iskra car has been launched. Mordovia opens Russia's first flexible solar module plant. Voronezh produces large-format insulating glass units. Smolensk launches advanced vegetable oil purification workshop. Vladimir region opens new dairy complex. Another batch of T-90M and T-72B3M tanks, as well as BMP-3S, with additional protection, and Depesha robotic complexes, has been delivered to the troops. 2 anti-sabotage boats of Project 21,998 Grachanok were laid down at the Zelenodolsk plant. The Zvezda shipbuilding complex is constructing 2 bulk carriers. Equipment production for mining and processing has started in Irkutsk. Perm region launched food industry conveyor component manufacturing. Kalashnikov concern began production in Moscow. A fiber optic and communication cable plant opened in the Moscow region. The second phase of an electrical equipment plant started in Cheboksary. A fittings manufacturing complex has been established in Chechnya. A turkey breeding facility has been launched in the Voronezh region. In the Omsk region, a dairy complex has opened. Another batch of Su-35S multifunctional fighter jets has been delivered to the troops. A Project 12,700 minesweeper has been laid down at the Shrednenevsky shipbuilding plant. A production line for manufacturing modules for domestic cellular networks has opened in the Moscow region. Flexible polymer packaging is being produced in the Kaluga region. Tetra Pak format packaging production has opened in Chekhov. Medical device production has expanded in Samara. A large metal structures factory has opened in the Nizhny Novgorod region. The Irkutsk region is producing building materials. Russia's first lactulose production facility has been launched in Stavropol. At the 59th International Mendeleev Chemistry Olympiad for school students in Brazil, for the first time, each of the 10 members of the Russian team won a gold medal. In the Astrakhan region, the lead support vessel barrel dredger Nikolai Grechanovsky was launched, and 2 dry cargo ships of the River Sea Dry Cargo, 81 project, were laid down. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, the 4th vessel of the DC 9203 project was launched. In Udmurtia, equipment production for nuclear power plants has been launched. In Podolsk, production of materials for printed circuit boards. In the Nizhny Novgorod region, a plant for processing flax and hemp. In Karelia, a wooden house kit factory. And in the Altai territory, the second phase of a plastic processing plant. Voronezh has a large non-alcoholic beverage production facility, and the Kaluga region has a dairy plant. At the International Biology Olympiad, Russian school students won 6 gold medals. The Soyuz 2.1B rocket successfully launched a Ministry of Defense satellite into orbit from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome. The lead electric vessel of the Moskva 2.0 project launched in the Leningrad region, and the floating clinic of the 132 PK project in Kolomna. The Ural automobile plant has launched a new truck factory and 2 production lines for manufacturing components of leading drive axles. In Perm, the production of new models of centrifugal pumps has been expanded. In Primorye, a fiberglass production facility has been opened. In Vologda, a machine-building enterprise has been established. In Krasnodar, the production of waste processing equipment has been expanded. In the Penza region, a bio-waste processing plant has been launched. In Adygea, a corrugated products manufacturing plant has been opened. A new batch of T-80 BVM tanks with extra armor has arrived for the troops. The Zelenodolsk plant launched a high-speed hydrofoil vessel, Meteor 2020, while the Shrednenevsky plant launched a catamaran of Project 04580. Serial production of asphalt pavers opened in Bryansk. Organic electrolyte production for supercapacitors started in Tomsk. Liquid carbon dioxide production begun in Kemerovo region. Electronic product production started in Leningrad region. Chemical product plant opened in Nizhny Novgorod region. Fertilizer production started in Moscow region. A sea tanker of Project 2330 has been laid down at the Okskaya shipyard. At the Cherpovets shipbuilding plant, a tugboat of Project TSK 395M has been launched. In the Astrakhan region, a Project 9359 dredger has been laid down, while in the Nizhny Novgorod region, a Project RBD 4608 barge has been launched. In Perm, a self-propelled cleaning vessel. New plants have opened: a micro-calcite production plant in the Chelyabinsk region, a boat engine plant in the Moscow region, a spiral wound pipe plant in Kazan, an optical glass materials plant in the Sverdlovsk region, a woodworking enterprise in Petrozavodsk, a food production facility in the Ryazan region, and the Nositel Kalibrov dairy farm in the Ivanovo region. The submarine Yakutsk has joined the Navy, and another batch of upgraded artillery fire control systems has been delivered to the troops. In Nakodka, a new crab fishing vessel of Project 03141 has been laid down. A plant for the production of robotic equipment has opened in Orenburg, a hot-rolled rebar plant in the Rostov region, and in the Ulyanovsk region, a spare parts production facility and a paper products plant. The second phase of the paper products plant in the Kaluga region. In the Vladimir region, a glass processing workshop. In the Tomsk region, a waste processing complex. In the Lipetsk region, a robotic livestock complex. The Angara 5 launch vehicle successfully lifted off from the Plesetsk Cosmodrome and placed Ministry of Defense satellites into orbit. In St. Petersburg, another patrol ship of Project 2220 was launched, and in Vladivostok, the Aurum ship of Project 0341 was launched. In Samara, the dredger Canopus. Russia has launched its first full-cycle production of space-grade solar panels in Moscow. Bashkiria has opened a plant for translucent structures, while Chuvashia has started operating a dry milk production facility. At the International Chemistry Olympiad in Tashkent, the Russian team won 3 gold and 1 silver medal.